Hi everybody, I'm Kate Richbourg, and welcome to my little video extra tip for my project in this month's issue of Step by Step Wire magazine. So hopefully you've seen my project, which is that cool little river rock dangle earring, and it has some special little dapped caps there that hug that little river rock. Well, as an extra, I'm going to teach you how to apply the patina to the metal, as well as cut out those little blanks and dap them in a dapping block. So you'll learn all about patinas and how easy they are to use. All right, shall we get started? Let's go. Okay, everybody, just like the article says, this is going to be some of the stuff that you're going to need. You're going to need just a piece of metal. This piece of metal happens to be pre-stamped here or pre-textured. You can also use plain metal, just depends on what you have. And this is actually a 24 gauge piece of metal here. Here I've already done some patinas, and we're going to move to this piece in a few moments, but we're going to start with this blank piece of metal. It's just a clean sheet, nothing's been done to it, it's just ready to go. And then I have some different patinas here. These are actually the vintage patinas, but whatever different types of metal patinas you might have, you can certainly try out. I like these guys a lot. I think they do some nice work. And then I also have some Ranger inks. This is actually a gold mixative here, and this is an alcohol ink in hazelnut. So I think all of these together are going to make a nice patina on this metal. So go ahead and choose the first color that you want to use. I'm going to use this clay, and I'm going to shake it up a little bit here, and I'm just going to open it up and apply just a few drops. Now I'm not going to be real deliberate with this because I'm just going to be cutting some small little bead caps out of it, so I don't have to have a real pattern or anything like that in mind. Now I just have a plain paintbrush here, and I'm going to use that paintbrush to spread that patina out, just like so. And what you're going to do is, after you've kind of spread this patina around, you're going to let this dry until it's dry to the touch. So that's our first coat. Now, through the magic of video and my hairdryer, this is nice and dry here, and you can see it's kind of a thin coating. We want some of the metal to show through, so that's good. Now we're going to add our second patina, and I'm going to do just a couple of drops here because I don't want as much color for the second layer as I put on for the first. And you can see I'm just going to spread this around kind of thin. And I can rinse my brush off a little bit, get some of that patina off a little bit, spread it around. All right, here's coating number 2. You can see that pretty well. I'm going to dry this real quickly, and I'll be right back. Now I can also, now that this is dry, I can also take away a little bit of this patina by using either some really fine grit sandpaper, or this is a little 3M metal dressing sponge. You can get both of these in your paint department of your hardware store. And this little sponge has a little bit of grit to it, and I can just lightly kind of knock down a little bit of that patina. You can see I'm exposing some of the metal underneath. And I can also do that with my sandpaper as well. I can come in and sand a little bit of these patinas away so it gets a little more of a weathered look, which I kind of like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to top it all off with just one drop here of these alcohol inks. And the alcohol ink is cool. It's kind of a thin coating, but it's just going to come down, and see how I really spread that guy around. And I'm going to leave some places uncovered by the ink and some covered. But it adds just kind of an interesting dimension. And you can see over here how I drew it over into the bare metal. See how that really actually gives a nice highlight to just the plain bare metal as well. So alcohol inks are a great one to use with metals for sure. Okay, so now that this guy is all set to go, you can see I've done a tester. I just want to show you this pretty briefly. I've just done a tester of some of my other patinas here as well. And I just like to point out, having one of these plain little guys with some of the testers, you can kind of really see how the patinas act on the metal, as well as you can go ahead and kind of see how they act just by taking some of that away as well. So it's kind of fun to have one of these little plates that you've prepared with some of the different patinas, so you can kind of check out and see what different effects you can get with that. So, but now let's go back to our original plate here. So it's time we want to actually cut one of our circles out. I'm going to show you how to do that, and then we're going to dap it, and then we're going to be ready to use it on our project. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, now I'm just going to cut a blank out of this metal by using my handy dandy disc cutter, and this little, the cutter goes in right there. I've made sure my metal is nice and tight, and I'm just going to whack this cutter right through my metal. Okay, this is going to be loud, so bear with me here. A few little whacks there, and ta-da! Look at that. We've got that nice metal piece cut with the patina. I'm going to do one more. Just lift this open, and you can use whatever disc cutter you might have. I happen to have this nice 11-hole disc cutter that works really well. One more time, a couple of whacks. There we go. Whoops. Whacking a little hard there. And you can see here are my two pieces that have the patina on them, and they're ready to curve. So what I'm going to do next, before I curve them, is I'm going to mark a place for the hole, because if I were to curve these or dome them without a hole, it would be pretty difficult to get that hole in after these guys are curved. So I'm just going to use my screw down hole punch here, and I've marked that little place with my permanent marker, and I'm going to come in, line up my punch, my screw down hole punch here, punch right through, pull this right back up, and here we have our nice piece with the hole. Next, I'm going to show you how to dap it. Okay, you guys, now this is ready for dapping. Now remember, I used the screw down hole punch to do the hole in this piece, but remember in the article we're doing some tube riveting, so refer to the article and make sure that you use the right size hole for the tube that you have. I used the screw down hole punch just for this demo because it was handy, just kind of hanging around, so it was the right one for me to use. But now let me show you here how to curve this guy. A lot of you might be familiar with the dapping block and the daps, but I just want to show you real quickly how easy it is to curve this little blank. I've put the blank in patina side down, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to use my dap, and I choose a dap that is about the shape and size that I want my finished cap to be. I'm just going to come in, place the dap on my little blank in there, and give it a couple of light whacks. And you can see I've got a nice curved blank here, but it's not quite as curved as I'd like it to be yet. So I'm going to move it into a dap that's a little bit smaller, a little well that's a little bit smaller, and I'm going to choose a dap that's a little smaller as well. I'm going to come in, center that dap down, and give it another couple of whacks. And you want the dapping block to move around, or you want rather the blank to move around in the well of the dapping block. I'll show you this after I'm done here. It might be a little bit hard for you to see, but I want to get a couple of nice last little whacks in there so my piece is nice and curved. So can you see how that little piece has curved up here? And the hole has also grown, and that's what happens when you punch a hole and then go to curve your disc. That hole is going to grow a little bit as well. So there you have it, you guys. That's how we add patina to metal, cut out a blank, curve it, and it's all ready for your project. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.